To Synth Samurai Productions. What do we got? We got the NAMM 2026 prediction. This is a radio show today because I'm working and I feel like talking. So that's how we're doing it. We got the NAMM 2026 prediction show. I'm predicting, from everything that I'm hearing on the back channels, I think Moog might have something special. Now, the question is, are they going to drop it at NAMM? Maybe not. They're going to drop it at Super Booth? I don't know. It all depends on what the most popular show is. We got to go back and track which one they did last year. Did they drop the Moog Muse before, after, during? But I'm predicting Moog will have something for us that will probably end up slotting right in between the Messenger and the Muse. So what is it going to be? A 5 voice? You got an 8. Now you got a monophonic. And a lot of people are hoping that they're going to bring back the Voyager-esque style flip top. I don't know. That's a big ask. Is it possible they'll do something like that? That's a good question. But everything I'm hearing, they've got something very special planned. And I don't know if it's going to be dropping at NAMM, but hopefully it is. There's rumors. I don't know if Behringer's going to NAMM this year. The great Behringer blacklisting of last year was interesting, to say the least. We didn't get the coverage that we all wanted, and we had a lot of people say, nobody's interested anymore, and Behringer didn't have any synthesizers plugged in, and whatever, man. They had the BX1 there, that beautiful CS80, I think dual filter with effects, 32 oscillators, a true, per filter, something crazy like that. I can't even remember. Plus it had effects, plus it had everything else in between. So, I mean, to say they had nothing, they had the Pro 16, and don't forget they also had the JT16 there. They weren't plugged in. That's no big deal. They were still there to see. You could see they're ready to go. Not only that, they had the Behringer Wave. They had the LM drum. And all those things were released, but we didn't really get anybody touching, playing, or covering it that much. So who knows what's going on. And maybe it's just because there's just not that many people into covering synthesizers anymore. I mean, we had a video come out with Jorb, and Jorb was like, I just kind of wanted to go and do my own thing. I just wanted to check out NAMM and not do any video. And then we have Bo Beats. I don't know if Bo Beats called him, because I don't know. I thought Jorb worked for Bo Beats or something. Is that true? I don't even know if that's true, but I thought Bo Beats was like, Jorb, you got to get a video out, buddy. So then Bo Beats did a video for Jorb or something like that. Is that what happened last year? Can't even remember now, but we got a lot of companies, right? So you got Arturia. They are due for something. I don't know, man. Maybe a new drum machine or something. They did the Astrolab 37 key, which I thought is pretty cool. I think it's cooler than the big one, to be honest with you. And then there's been rumors for years of the Mega Freak or the Super Freak. So are they going to give us an absolute monster digital hybrid? 49, 61 key, something like that? That's a question that we're wondering. So my prediction is we're going to see a drum machine from Arturia, or we're going to see a Super Freak, right? Which would be like a 12 to 24 voice hybrid poly synth that will probably, I mean, I've got the Mini Freak. I did a little demo of the Mini Freak the other night again. Just broke it out and started playing it, and I was like, man, this thing is an absolute monster. The Mini Freak's a monster. 6 voice hybrid. What's up, Jabby? 6 voice hybrid, or you got a polyphonic, paraphonic 12. That's the thing. So what's it going to be? Is it going to be one or the other? That's the big question. So we got Moog, Sequential. They did the 4M. That is a 4-voice polyphonic with, has it got polyphonic aftertouch? Can't even remember now. It might have polyphonic. Yeah, I think it's got polyphonic aftertouch. And it's basically like a Prophet 4. You know, it's a Prophet 5 with 4 voices. A lot of people weren't happy that they did 4 voices, but you know, 4 voices are better than none. And it's a $1,000 synthesizer, so it gave people the ability to pick that thing up for $1,000. So for $1,000, you can basically, for what everyone's saying, own a Prophet 5 with 4 voices is basically what everyone's saying. And they said it sounds great. You know, everything I heard, it sounds decent. It's got no effects, obviously, so you got to use your own effects. I don't really know anybody who's bought it. I know a lot of people who were given it, but I don't know anybody who actually went out and bought this thing. So I suspect it's sequential sales for the 4M, unless they do another big marketing push here at NAMM. But I suspect the sales for the sequential 4M will be abysmal at best, because I just don't know, for $1,000, 4-voice with kind of like, what do you want to call them, quasi mini keys, is that really what you want to do? That's the question, you know. If you really want to spend $1,000 on that, there's so many other options in the $1,000 range that you can get. So unless Sequential is going to do something big, I don't see them doing anything at NAMM. Moog may do something at NAMM, but they'll probably wait for Super Booth. I feel like Super Booth is like taken over for when it comes to the synthesizer crowd, you know. NAMM's a huge convention, but I think Super Booth's kind of took over for big releases. It's got more hype, really. And I think more people are interested in going there because it's more of like a gathering, you know, of people who can, like-minded, pretty much all synth related, you know, where NAMM is everything, music production, blah, 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 blah. So, Behringer, are they going to release anything? Well, this year, I assume. Maybe some of those synthesizers that they've had there that weren't plugged in will probably be plugged in this year.
Dude, what's his face's door is locked?
What door?
What's his name?
Yeah, it's always locked.
Eric?
Yeah.
I thought you had to go into the vacuum.
Well, it's locked today, so there's no key, so. Yeah, so, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Behringer will probably have the JT16 there plugged in. They might have the Pro 16 plugged in. They have the JN80, which is the 8-voice Juno there, probably ready to go. And they will probably have, yeah. I'll just tell them it's fine. It's not a big deal. Well, I'll just tell them it's fine. Yeah, I will. And we've had a year of production or R&D on the BX1, which is the DX1 clone, which is that friggin' monster. And I think, man, to be honest with you, people are very excited about the BX1. You know, that thing has got the CS80 dual filter. What's up, Jeffy?
Hey.
What brings you around these parts today?
Just keep cleaning out shit and just, but I'm gonna leave it in a minute.
All right, cool. Yeah, CS80 filter, dual filters, an effects section. Don't forget, Behringer Music Tribe owns Clark Technic Effects, so they've got, plus TC Electronics, so they got the ability to have tons of crazy effects.
I love it.
And it's a masterpiece. It looks like a piece of black glass. Absolute friggin' masterpiece. So I'll be excited to see if we can. They had some sounds coming out of it last year, but I'm assuming this year they'll have some even better sounds, you know? That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we can really get a real taste of that BX1, because that might be the most exciting synthesizer of them all. And don't forget, there's so many other. We got the Synth-X, okay? You got the CS80 clone, which is now called the Y. Is it the Y? No. The VS, the Vangelis 80. Vangelis, however you say the dude's name, I don't even know. I call him Vangelis, but I know people say it's Vangelis or Vangelis, something like that. I'm known for not being able to pronounce names properly, so don't get angry at me. Please don't unsubscribe because I said Vangelis' name wrong. Because, you know, that would just break my heart. Had some cat last night being like, I'm gonna block you. I don't like, you've done 1,000 videos. I've loved them all. But the one you did last night was just too out of line. I'm unsubscribing and blocking you. I was like, dude, you actually think I care? That's hilarious. I'm just doing this for a laugh, bro. Like, what do you think? So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I should check, see. I got the pocket stream going. I should make sure that that this pocket stream is audio's coming in proper. Let me check real quick. Hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got a few people in there. BX with the DX. What's up, Synth Cat? What's up, Tactical MIDI? Banana Rodder. Everybody's here. The only Behringer I consider is the BX1. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're the Behringer bros, and the BX1 is the cream of the crop when it comes to, I feel like of all the products that might be released at NAMM this year, there's only 3 that I really am and potentially excited about, and that is a potential Arturia synthesizer, because I do love the Mini Freak, and I feel like the Polybrute sales in America were brutal. I know in the UK they were good, but I feel like the Polybrute just way overpriced. They I don't know, I kind of think they blew it on that. And then the Moog Muse just totally put a nail in the coffin of US sales for the Polybrute, because they didn't have them ready to ship to people. And when the Moog Muse came out, you could order it and have it at your house the weekend. So that was absolutely a lesson for Arturia and a lot of these synth companies now that are competing with the likes of Music Tribe and Focusrite and in music is, listen, if you're going to release a monster flagship synthesizer for $4,000, that's what you're going to do. You better have it ready to be at your house on the weekend, because guess what? If you're not, and you get a company like Moog come out with the Moog Muse, pretty much like a week after you drop the Polybrute, and everybody's got their pre-orders in for the Polybrute 12, and you drop the Moog Muse, and everybody gets like, damn, screw it, I'm canceling my Polybrute, this is $500 cheaper, I'm gonna get the Moog Muse, then, you know, you screwed up. So that was if this was like a, you know, Synth Wars, that was a fatal error on the part of Arturia, and they absolutely got smoked in that little battle, big time smoked. And in the US especially, you could order that from Sweetwater. The friggin' Synth Tsunami shill videos dropped on a Wednesday, I believe it was. And when they dropped on the Wednesday, you could go to Sweetwater and order it, and the damn beautiful 8-voice behemoth will be at your house Saturday friggin' morning for you to play. And you know what? Some people might still be waiting for a friggin' Polybrute right now. And I'm the biggest fan of the Cream Dream. I'm the one who probably promoted the Arturia synthesizer more than anyone for free. I didn't get paid, I didn't get sent one, I get nothing. And I did the most promotion for the Cream Dream. I created a friggin' meme with the Cream Dream. Okay? And Moog murked them in the marketing department. So that was extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. So yeah, I'm excited to see if Arturia comes with something. I would love to see a Super Freak or a new drum machine. You know, something like a, you know, the side drum, a digital drum machine. It doesn't need to be analog, you know. It doesn't need to be analog. Come on. We don't need another analog drum machine. We need a digital drum machine like the side drum from Sonicware That's the kind of drum machine we need. Okay, that's the kind of drum machine people want. Something insanely exciting and deep, where you can make sounds that are just wild. You know, the drum brute was fine, the drum brute impact was fine, but very limited. You know, you got the TR-1000. What are you going to go pay? You're going to go pay $3,000 for a drum machine? I mean, you could, but why would you? So I feel like there's a beautiful little bit of a void opened up in the drum machine market right now, that you could come in with like a $500 drum machine, $499, even $699. You could go $699 with an Arturia, you know, drum machine. Call it the poly drum. What could you call it? The poly drum. What's Arturia do for names? Matrix Brute. They already did the Drum Brute. Yeah, call it the poly drum is what I would call it. Or the DrumFreak. Actually, never mind. Call it the DrumFreak and add it to the Freak series, because you got the Brute, Drum Brute and the Brute series. So do the digital or a digital hybrid drum machine. Call it the DrumFreak, and come in here and slide right into that 500, you know, that $499 to $699 market. Bam, baby. You got yourself sales. You got yourself sales galore. Okay, so that's what I'm excited for, and I'm probably predicting a DrumFreak. I don't know why. My gut's just telling me DrumFreak. Moog, I'm thinking with Moog I've heard they've got something absolutely special planned, and that was after the Messenger got released. So after the Messenger came out, I heard that Eric Norlander was absolutely blown away by this new product they got in development. Now, what could it be? Is Moog going to venture into a hybrid? Why not? It's about time, isn't it? Isn't it about time that Moog said, you know what? How many more analog synthesizers can we make? Let's do a hybrid. I think it's about that time. So I'm predicting Moog to release maybe their first hybrid synthesizer. And if not, just to milk the last one in the series with the Messenger, the Muse. They got to put something in the middle or bigger, right? So you're either going to go a 16 voice Muse on steroids, or you're going to go right in between the Messenger and the Muse with a 4 or 5 voice, okay? You want to kill the forum, you want to kill the sequential forum, and the Take 5, you drop a 5 voice Voyager Redux, okay? And there you go, bam. You want to talk about sales? Moog is killing it. 2020, 2024, sorry, 2025, 2026, Synth Company of the Year, and you know I'm not a Moog guy, is Moog. Synth Company of the Year for 2025, 2024, 2025 was Moog, because they released the greatest sounding, very affordable Messenger, which was monophonic beast, and they just did a firmware update and made it duophonic, 2 voice, for all you freaks out there that don't know what that means. Duophonic, 2 voices. And they released the Moog Muse, which is an 8 voice monster with diffusion delay, an insane sequencer, insane modulation, and sounds friggin' crazy for one of the cheapest prices of any of the big 3 polysynths with Oberheim, Moog, and Sequential. So Moog was definitely Synth Company of the Year, and I'm a Behringer bro, but I got to give it to Moog for those 2 synthesizers, because the fact that they went and came under the banner of In Music and then released the Muse and the Messenger and knocked it both out of the park is just extraordinary. And it's super exciting. It's super exciting. It made me super excited for Moog as a company. Absolutely super excited for Moog as a company, because I think not only did it put them back on the map, the Moog Messenger opened up a whole new category, or a whole new customer base, because a lot of people wanted a Moog synthesizer. Me included. I didn't get one yet because I'm cheap. I'm a cheap biche. But a lot of people wanted a Moog synthesizer, and you get to have one for $6.99 to $8.99. Get them used for $6.99. Get them new for $8.99. You know, so, and everybody I know who owns a Moog Messenger says it's an absolute, pleasure to play that thing. Okay? An absolute friggin' pleasure to play that thing. Thank you, Echo Craft, for that $1.99. Appreciate that. I'll take the missus out for some sour keys after. I think I can get a bag of sour keys for $1.99 these days, can I? We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll see. But yeah, Moog is Synth of the Year. So that's the two companies. I'm excited. And the third thing I'm excited for, so just to recap, Arturia for a drum machine, the DrumFreak, or a Super Freak. Moog for a 16-voice monster poly synth, or something right in between the Messenger and the Muse, 4 or 5-voice poly. And then we go to Behringer. And Behringer's got, I really hope the BX1 is close. I hope the BX1 is close. Because even the most ardent Behringer hater, okay? Even the most ardent Behringer critic said that they will buy the BX1, okay? Even the harshest critics. You know why? Because it's that damn beautiful. I don't even know if they want to get it for the sound, but they definitely want to get it for the beauty. And you know it's going to sound great. So they took the CS80 filters, put a dual in there, loaded it with effects, 32, this is crazy, 32 oscillators, I think they said, I'm not sure. Just, don't quote me. Something like that. I had to go back and watch the video. I reposted a video today to just bring back everybody's excitement for the BX1 from last year, because NAMM is coming up. Go watch it. And I just feel like that will be gangbusters. Uli already told the public they will never ever be a Behringer polysynth that he ever sells for more than $1,500. So he made that promise. Maybe that's why it's taking so long, because they're just waiting for, the global economy to clean itself up, after a few little events go down and everything kind of finds its level. But Uli said he's never going to sell a Behringer polysynth for more than $1,500. So the fact that you'll be able to get a DX1, call it a clone remake, I think they should just, like I said, I want them to make their own synths now and just pivot to doing really cool clones. They got enough clones in the works now where they could, put out one clone a year. And I think they should do the DeepMind X, or the DeepMind something, something like that, where they go back and revisit arguably their greatest synthesizer, which was their original, I think that would be the way to go. And I know a lot of other people are excited about it. They're excited with the Neutron. They're excited with the Proton. They've been excited with the few Behringer synthesizers that were actually originals. And I know people absolutely friggin' love the DeepMind minus the screen. So why not go back and do a DeepMind reboot with a whole new screen? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A whole new DeepMind. That's what the world wants. But while we're waiting for that, we will get the BX1, the Jupiter, the Pro 16, the Jupiter 16, the Juno 8. All those clones are coming, right? It's just a fact of the matter. And arguably, nothing's going to stop Behringer's rise. Absolute insane. But I'll tell you one thing. If Moog's going to keep dropping synthesizers, like how are they going to sell a Moog Sound Studio? This is the question I got to ask everybody. How are you going to go sell a Moog Sound Studio for $6.99? All right? And then you're also going to go sell the Messenger for $6.99, $8.99. How are you going to do that? How are you going to justify that? That means those Sound Studio modules, if they're going to keep selling those, they're going to have to sell them for $4.99, right? You can't sell a Moog Sound Studio. You can't sell the Mother 32, the D-Fam, the Subharmonicon, the Spectravox. You can't sell those for $700. Are you crazy? Not when you're giving people a Moog Messenger for cheaper. You just can't do it. back to the basics. What's everyone saying in the chat there? Because of those prices, I don't care anymore. Where's the BMX? BMX is coming. It's all coming. There's tons of stuff coming. Octarhythm, taking a dump. Oh, you talking about that toilet flush? No. Hold on, let me get this phone switched around here real quick. Hold on. There we go. All right, I just got to make sure the sound's coming in clear. Is the sound coming in good? Everyone cool with the sound? Because this is a pocket stream. This is Synth Samurai radio, so I got to make sure the stream's coming in clear. All right, looks good to me. I'm going back in the pocket. Put it in this way. Perfect. All right, yeah, so you know, everyone's saying they don't got time to make videos and stream. I'm working and streaming. You know what? I can do two. What did you guys think of taking a little pivot last night's show? Kind of upset a couple people. People caution checked me in the comments. They came in, they were like, Samurai, this new direction you're taking is, you should be careful. You should have started a second channel. I really advise you to be careful. And I'm like, careful of what? I've done 1,000 videos, and yesterday I wanted to do something different because I was just doing it anyways. And how I ended up starting the stupid synth channel in the beginning was because I was doing it anyway. I was reading synth news flat out, non-stop, 24/7. So I was like, if I'm reading this news all the time, why don't I just actually record me reading the news, basically, is what I did. That's how I started this synth show with synth news. And yesterday, there's crazy world events going on, and I was reading about it, so I was like, you know what? I'm sitting here at the computer reading about it. Why don't I just go live and hang out and read it with the boss? And that's what I did, and everybody friggin' loved it. Not only did everybody love it, I had tons of people email me after and say, man, appreciate you doing that show out there, bro. You know, we don't really have anybody we kind of identify and connect with when it comes to this kind of news crap. Everything's so one-sided and blah, blah, blah. Man, appreciate you covering it so fair and just reading through the headlines and having a bit of fun with it and joking around. That's what we need when we read news. We don't want the doom and gloom. We want to go in and hear the news and have a bit of a laugh. And that's what I'm doing. So the same template I did for that synth show, which is cover synth news and make it a little more lighthearted, that's now what I'm going to do once a week. I'm just going to cover the global news and have a bit of fun with it and have a laugh. And, you know, everyone in the chat can have their own opinions. You can fight back and forth, do whatever you want. You know, you got the Maple Syrup Mafia versus the Yankees, okay? You got the Euro Bros, all right? Versus the friggin' Russians. You got it all in the synth community, so why not just hang out and read the news together? Are we not all adults? One dude goes, I'm blocking you. I can't believe that you're a music channel and I came here for music and you're talking about news. And I'm like, dude, like if you said that to me face to face, I'd look at you and laugh and I'd be like, bro, shut up. Will you? Do you wear underwear that are too tight? Like what is going on? Like why are you so bunched up, you know? Why are you so serious, you know? Like why are you taking everything so serious? Because everything's a bit of theater anyways, so I figured we just cover it. So if anybody wants to know what was up with that show yesterday, you know, I'm going 90% synth content, 10% news. And I might even throw in some MMA news in there too, because that's what I'm interested in. So I'm just going to do stuff that I'm interested in. How about that for a friggin' novel idea? I'm not going to start a second channel and have to manage 2 channels and all this nonsense. I'm just going to do stuff I'm interested in. And guess what? If people like it and they're interested in it, cool. And if they're not interested in this 30 or 20% of stuff I'm doing, then don't watch it. Watch the other 60%. Like, what do you want, man? Like, suddenly you end up getting like 10 managers that come in and be like, I think this is not the right direction of your channel, man. Are you serious? You're gonna, what do you say? You're gonna get nerfed, or whatever the friggin' nerf means. I don't even heard that word before, nerf. You're gonna get nerfed. I'm like, what the hell's a nerf? Okay? I would never even use that word, so weird. You're gonna get nerfed. And then, I I'm just like, nah, bro, I'm just going to do things that I'm interested in. And a lot of people are interested in the same things I am. And if you've been hanging around the channel for the last couple years, okay, then you understand that when I get a gut feeling and I just go for it, sometimes it works. Most of the time it works. Sometimes it don't, and I just pivot. But I've always just done what I wanted to do, and I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. And that's just the way it is. And people who don't like it, then guess what? There's billions of other things going on you could go do yourself too. It's like, but how is the synth community going to react to you doing a global news show? And I'm like, a global news show? 1,000 videos I've done? And I did a global news show for a laugh because the synth community is boring as you know what at the minute, and I was reading about it. And dude's gonna friggin' caution check me, like he's a investor in my channel or something. Like he's like got a say in what I do. No, I just do what I want, and I do what the people want, and the people just want. The analytics tell me the truth. You know what the analytics tell me? And this is sad, but I actually don't care because it's just the way I am anyways. The analytics tell me that people want to hear me run my mouth more than they want to hear music. How about that? They want to hear me run my mouth. And if I'm running my mouth, I guess maybe they might not care what I'm running my mouth about. That's going to be an interesting little experiment that's going to happen. You know, we'll see what happens. But net positive yesterday, I did that friggin' global news show called Samurai News Network, which even when I started the show, I was like, hey, just to let everybody know, this hour, if you came here for synth news, then it's probably not the right time for you to hang around because we're just going to have a laugh, cover some global news right now. Here's your warning, or your whatever you call it, your disclaimer. And net positive, I think I lost 3 subs and gained 6. So I was net 3 subs just from that little live stream I did last night. So that tells you right there what's up. It's already got like 500 views, and it was just a random stream that wasn't promoted or nothing, just done out of nowhere. So I think that's pretty successful, you know. Some of my top streams sometimes when I go live, like the call-in shows and all that stuff, they only get like 500 views sometimes, you know. Kumite gets like, 300, 500 views, you know. Kumite gets no views, but we do that for the love of it, for the brotherhood, you know. That's why we do the Kumite. I don't do the Kumite because it's popular, you know. If I was only doing stuff that's popular, I wouldn't do the Kumite. It's not popular, but the people in the community, all the legends, it's popular to us and we enjoy it. So that's why we do it. I don't do it for views, right? Because if I was doing it for views, I wouldn't do it. Because when you do channels about music, you can't do them for views unless you're Nicki Minaj. Or you're willing to buy views, right? Because that's just how it works, all right? You know, you got to go over to YouTube Music. It's just the way it is. So that was a fun little experiment. We're gonna keep experimenting because why not? It's 2026. We're gonna do some different stuff. Like I said, I read MMA news all the time. I watch UFCs, every single one. Tons of people in my community love combat sports. They love UFC. So if I do a show when a big UFC is coming, a breakdown show or a little watch party or something like that, well then guess what? That's cool too. It's cool to me, and it's cool to people watching, and some people might not be into it, but that's fine. If I'm doing an MMA show and you're not into MMA, then guess what? Then you can just click the X and you can head on over and watch one of the other shows on the go. There's tons of shows. It's like, find it weird when people get angry when you deviate from what, it's just a weird expectation thing, I guess. But like I said, I'm an entertainer. I'm not a musician. I'm an entertainer. I'm a TV show host. And I just experiment with different kinds of TV shows. And some work and some don't. And some of the ones that have worked the best, I've actually only done once or twice. And you may ask why, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm lazy. And sometimes those shows take more work than I'm willing to energetically put in. And I only blame it on personal laziness, right? So some of the shows were like, man, I wish you did that show again. It was like, well, I wish I did too, but I'm just lazy. So until I can figure out this laziness, then that show is on the back burner. Because it's like, this might sound weird, but you got to gear up graphics and pull up a bunch of stuff and organize everything. And, you know, when you're trying to live the slug life, sometimes you don't want to be doing too much of that stuff. You know what I mean? You just want to get in there, hit the go button and let it rip, right? You don't want to get into too much editing and blah, 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 blah. So when you're living that slug life, sometimes you just gotta let a good thing go sometimes, you know what I mean? Because in the end, that good thing will end up turning bad. Like leaving an apple out in the sun too long. You leave it there, it looks good, come back a couple days later because you weren't hungry, apple's still on the porch, got a little brown spot on it, still looks good. You're like, all right, that apple's still good. You know, leave it a couple more days, come back, apple's a little darker. You're like, all right, am I gonna eat that apple? Leave it another day. Then you're on borrowed time, you know? Then you're on borrowed time. So not everything good is always good. Sometimes it gets bad later, right? And hence why they invented the word rot. Okay, some things rot. And they don't rot because they're not good. They rot because sometimes they take too much time to actually enjoy the good part of it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's what's up with that. That's kind of a little thing we're just playing around with, experimenting with. And that'll be exciting for 2026. I think everybody's pretty pumped about it. And it gives us something else to do during the downtime. You know, when things are a little bit slow. And when some things are slow, other things are heating up. That's the beauty of the internet. Right? And guess what? No guts, no glory. No risk, no reward. So sometimes you got to take a chance and just mess around with the algorithm and see what ends up happening, you know? And so far, so good. Things are good. So let me check something real quick here. We got LO, it's a good way to weed people out. Yeah, actually, you know what? I said that today. It is a good way to weed people out. This is why I don't trust apples. Exactly. Yeah, it's a good way to weed people out. It's a good way. You know what it is? It's almost like this. It's almost like a test. It's a test of everybody to see if I do something a little bit different, are they basically going to just bail on me right away? Or are they just going to stick around and see how it plays out? Because like I said, I might do a show once and you might never ever see it again. And that's just the way it is. Like look at the episode I did with the shilling. I did 2 videos. That was when I had like 500 subscribers. They both did gangbuster and went to, 3,000-4,000 views, which was pretty good when you'll have 500 subscribers. And I just stopped doing it because I was like, man, it's too much effort for what I'm getting out of it. So I'm done. And then I did that show last night and I'm like, this is pretty good. This is low input, high output, exciting, interesting, fast paced. Quick hitter, 30 minutes, you know? I'll probably keep the news show to 30 minutes. I feel like if you're doing a live stream, if you do anything under 30, you're ripping everybody off. That's what I think. You go over an hour, an hour, it seems to me like 1 hour is ideal. You know, that's when pretty much everybody sticks around. And then when you're done, everybody's like, all right, I wish you stayed a little longer. Because you kind of want to leave a live stream with everybody saying, oh man, I wish you'd stay a little longer. You don't want to leave the live stream where there's like 3 people left, like it's a bar and then there's like someone passed out on the friggin' bar and you're like, hey brother, I hate to close up shop now, man, but it's time to go home. But then again, for live streamers, they say, if you ain't streaming for 3 hours, then, what are you doing? Because you're leaving so much on the table. But a lot of people told me I should move to Twitch. Because Kick, because my style is better for Kick, but I honestly don't have the time to stream on Kick. Kick is like all day, every day kind of thing if you actually want to be successful over there. I'm pretty happy with the lot in YouTube, We got good channels, like Twin City Oxygen did that little music show last night. It was good. You know, there's lots of good channels around there. So there's no need to switch platforms, right? I'll do what Banks told 50. Go ahead and switch the style up. Let the haters hate while we watch the subs pile up. You know, that's how I modified it because I think that's what it is. All right, but anyways, I gotta put the pedal to the metal now and get going here. Thanks for joining me for that little prediction. Just to round it up, the prediction is Arturia, DrumFreak or Super Freak, Mega Freak, a Moog in between or bigger, right? A 16 voice or a 4 or 5 voice, and then also Behringer with probably 2 or 3 synths, right? People only want talking. I'm not putting up music anymore. Listen, bro. Trader, it's sad to say, dude. It's sad to say, but I had this conversation with Machines the other day. We were talking, and I just asked him, I was like, bro, so this is what I said. I was like, bro, what's the goal of your channel, right? Because I was actually just doing a thought experiment myself. I was like, what's the goal of your channel? Like, what value are you bringing to people who come watch your channel, right? We talked about it for a little bit, and I was like, well, for me personally, my whole goal is just to entertain people, right? That's my goal. My goal isn't to like make music or sell music or make people be like, oh, I love your music. Like when I started doing the music, it was live jams just to entertain. That's why I would do narratives and speak. And I would tell stories because I wanted people to laugh and be like, oh, that's crazy, that's hilarious. Or someone in the live chat says something and then I add it into the song. Like, so it was all entertainment based. And then when I went to the synth show, I was like, I actually just like doing this more than I like playing music. And it seems that everybody watching kind of likes me doing this more than watching me play music. And, you know, you go around the synth community and you watch and you recognize. And it's a very, very small niche of people who actually will sit there and watch you play music, you know, very, very small. Most people just want to hear their own music played, let's be honest, you know? Like most people just want to hear their own songs played. It's like being a musician is in a weird way is like a little bit selfish that, you know, you want to hear your own music played. So that's the majority of the reason. You don't really want to hear other people's music a lot of the times, right? Because you're spending so much time making your own. You want to hear your music played, and you want to hear someone give you a pat on the back, right? That's the truth of it. And me included, you know, there's nothing better than having someone be like, man, that song was cool. You'd be like, sweet, yeah, all right, cool, thanks, man. But the cold hard facts is, so anyways, then I asked Machines what was the goal of his channel, and like what value is he bringing to his viewer and the people who are watching his channel. And he said straight up, he's like, bro, my channel is, it's kind of for me. It's to make music, it's to go live so I can get in the flow and create music and get better at live performing, you know, perfect my craft. And I feel like when I go live and do live jams and stuff, it puts me in the zone and it allows me to get better. And if people watch it and enjoy it, that's a huge bonus, but I'm pretty much doing it just for that. And I was like, wow, dude, okay, that's the way to look at it. That's the way to look at it if you're doing music. But the other thing is, you can do music and do other stuff. So Machine started this cool show called Rebooted Realities, where he's taking people from the community, you know, the Synth Renegade community and beyond, and interviewing them and like kind of talking it out. And it's a cool idea. So I think you should just not box yourself in with the idea that you're only going to do music or only going to do this and only going to do stuff in the synth community and blah, blah, blah. I think you should do what you're interested in. And if you have an idea, try it. You know, you're not a major friggin' network. You're your own network. You're allowed to try pilot episodes of things, see how they do, see if you enjoyed it, if you liked it. Maybe you didn't like it. Maybe you thought you'd like it, and then you found out you didn't like doing it. And just keep playing around and experiment. And that's the beauty of YouTube, is you can do whatever you want. It's your channel, you know. But I think if you have a channel, you kind of got to do what the little thought exercise that me and Machines kind of done with each other, which was, what's the goal of your channel? What's your mission statement? You know, what's your mission statement, and what value are you bringing to the viewer? Because that's kind of the two main things. So I posed the same question to Hans, and we kind of hashed it out. And you know, his basic mission statement of his channel was he wants to showcase unique synthesizers that most people do not have, so they can get to see them. And then he also wants to take these synthesizers and pieces of music equipment to areas of musicality that most people wouldn't take them. So, you know, prime example is his GR Mega videos from Tasty Chips, where he took a Cypress Hill song